I'm Paula Flo, Director of the Hitting Stops Here, a campaign for having corporal punishment banned in U.S. public schools in the remaining 21 states where this practice is still sanctioned. I'd like to give you 7 reasons why corporal punishment has remained sanctioned and practiced predominantly in poor and rural U.S. public school districts. Perhaps your understanding of why this behavior management tool is still being used will help you decide to participate in having it brought to an immediate end. Reason number 1. Most children who are targeted for being hit by their teachers are Black Americans, Latinos, and Native Americans. These populations are followed by children with special needs, particularly mentally disabled and autistic. Each of these groups have always had the poorest representation for having their needs met in U.S. public schools. To make things worse for these children, Black Americans and other minorities tend to ignore or be uninformed of the emotional and intellectual needs of children in order for them to thrive and develop in a healthy way. Children are therefore left with little to no advocacy in these populations. Public school corporal punishment, though proven to be administered in a discriminatory manner, has not been powerfully challenged to bring it to an end, neither by major Black organizations nor by any Black or brown people of power or influence. Whether a school board in a paddling district is all white or predominantly minorities, beating children of color and those from low-income families is favored by those in authority. Reason number 2. Educators, administrators, and the general public in these rural areas believe that Black and brown children, especially from low-income families, come from bad homes and must therefore be beaten in order to learn how to behave. This kind of thinking is in line with the mentality of slave beating. Give them a good whooping and they will do as they are told. A parent in Tennessee, where paddling of Blacks and other minorities occurs frequently, was recently told by the assistant superintendent of his daughter's school district that the children in their schools need to be beaten often because they come from bad homes. That's coming from an assistant superintendent. In an article written by the editor of the St. Paul's Review, a Lumberton, North Carolina newspaper, he said that children in Wake County come from educated families and money. The children in Robson are poor, and their parents are not educated. Basically, he believes that economics and intelligence are factors to be considered when determining which population of children would benefit from being beaten. Reason number 3. Black children, Latinos, and American Indians tend to be beaten the most in their own homes. So when they are beaten at school, not only is no one alarmed by this cruelty, but the adults in their lives usually condone it. Very often they believe that it's just what these children need, and if anything, they need lots of it. Reason number 4. People who believe that beating children to make them do better are usually uninformed of the scientific evidence that says this practice is harmful to children. They themselves were likely trained by this method and believe that they turned out okay. These people, entrenched in a belief system stemming from their own childhood, also tend to lack interest in seeking out information to read on this topic in order to come to an informed scientific conclusion about it. So the cycle of abuse goes on and on under their approval. Reason number 5. Paddling districts do not spend money on training their teachers to use effective positive discipline models that are used in districts which have already come into the 21st century. So teachers in these districts think that the paddle is their most important tool for running their classrooms and maintaining control. Reason number 6. Authorities in school districts that allow children to be beaten, who are able to make the necessary changes for protecting them from this form of assault and battery, are not threatened at all by the handful of parents who do ask that paddling be removed from their school district policy. Because these parents lack the ability to articulate their grievances effectively, school officials play their power card and ignore the wishes of uneducated folks who approach them. Reason number 7 is what I believe to be one of the most detestable. Corporal punishment brings in city and state revenue. When pain-based behavior management is used on children, the potential for these children to suffer from adult dysfunctional behaviors increase. Businesses that thrive as a result of children being corporally punished include the pharmaceutical industry, drug rehabs, group homes and shelters, the legal system, and prisons, which are our modern-day indoor slave plantations and are rapidly being filled with Black Americans, Latinos, and Native Americans. Notice the correlation. Another thriving business resulting from children being beaten are abortion clinics. And among the more popular and flourishing businesses as a result of paddling children on the buttocks are the pornography and prostitution industries. Here are some dynamics of U.S. public school corporal punishment. When white male and white female teachers spank white or black boys and girls, that is very acceptable. White male teachers can spank a black girl, and that is not only acceptable, but applauded by particular teacher circles. It is also a very common occurrence. Black male and black female teachers can spank black boys and black girls, and that too is a very common and acceptable occurrence. Now here's some homework for you. Find out how many black male teachers spank little white girls and big developed girls too. You see, white people will respond and protect their pride and joy, the white female, from black men. If only white girls tended to be targets for paddling in schools by black male teachers, it would no longer be an issue of, this is what children need. Every school day in the U.S., more than 1,400 children are paddled for reasons like having their cell phones out, coming to class late, getting a D on their report card. And for kindergartners and other little ones, they get paddled for reasons like breaking crayons, misspelling their name, and as one parent told me concerning her own childhood, for taking too long to learn her 4 times tables. By banning corporal punishment and demanding that teachers be trained to use positive discipline models, we will be protecting the next generation of children in this country who will regard hitting as a form of discipline that is barbaric and that leads to further violence in society and the world at large. I have seen bumper stickers that say, "I am already against the next war." We can prevent the next war by insisting that our children be taught that there are peaceful ways to solve every conflict. Please sign my petition by visiting the Hitting Stops Here. Thank you.